Welcome, everyone. It's Global Hack Week, Gen AI Week. We're keeping it rolling. It is Monday where I'm at in New York City. Let us know where you're joining us from. We'd love to know what time it is in the part of the world that you are currently occupying. In this hands-on session, we're going to explore how to build AI agents using Crew AI and other agent frameworks. We're also going to cover how to build and deploy custom model context protocol or MCP servers on the Clarifai platform, along with how to integrate MCP servers with AI agents. Very apropos for Gen AI Week. Super excited to be bringing on a very special guest who joined us on our first day of Global Hack Week. So yeah, definitely stick around for that. We've got someone that's joining us from LA, California. It's 8 a.m. An early riser indeed. I give you my kudos for getting up in the morning to learn a little bit more about Clarifai and Gen AI. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring up our guest. Please give a warm welcome to Sumanth, y'all.
Cool. Thanks for the intro, Rosendo. I'm really excited for this session. Hi, everyone. This is Sumant. Maybe if you have been in the first workshop that we had on Friday, you might have known me. And also, if you're new, I'm Sumant. I'm a machine learning developer advocate here at Clarifai. So in this session, we're going to see how you can build AI agents from scratch. We're going to build an agent, which is a blog writing agent from scratch. And we're going to see all the things that it requires to build an agent. And also on top of it, we will be building a custom MCP server. We will just take a look like how easy it is to build an MCP server and deploy it, and then using it to build AI agents. It's a completely hands-on. I'm just really excited for this. So yeah. But yeah, before that, I just want to give a quick intro on the session that we had on Friday. So if you haven't joined that session, I would recommend you to check that session. We just discussed like how you can get started with Clarifai. We have like ton of exciting challenges that we have prepared for you to help you get started with the generative AI agents and MCP. So I've just given a complete overview of the platform. Like there's a ton of things that you can just do, from accessing models to building your own agents, MCPs, training your models from scratch, data labeling, building workflows, building like an UI modules, deploying your own models to your dedicated compute. Like there's a ton of capabilities within the platform. I just shared a brief overview on that session, so just feel free to check that out. And also I just want to give another update on the the hackathon plan that we had. Like I just noticed most of you have faced during that workshop when you're just trying to access models from the platform, or also like when you're just trying to call the models via the API. We just encountered just faced some rate limiting errors trying out these models. So that we have just have the hackathon plan, which will give you enough credits to try out all the models that we have, and also to explore other capabilities of the platform. So you can just access that and you can just try out the model. So in order to get access for the hackathon plan, I think I have given an update in the general channel as well within the Discord. You can just sign up to Clarifai with your email and share that email with us. You can just tag me, Suman, in the channel, or you can just post. I think there is a dedicated channel for Clarifai, Ask Clarifai channel. You can just post it there. You can just share your email. You can just ask for the hackathon plan so that I can upgrade you to the plan, and maybe you can explore the platform without any issues. So yeah, and also, or maybe you can even DM me on Discord so that I can provide you the access. So yeah, that should solve your errors that you have, like most of you have encountered during that initial session. So just feel free to share your emails, get the access to the hackathon plan, and just work around all these challenges. And also, just a quick reminder that we're just providing credits, like free credits for everyone who completes at least 4 challenges out of 5. Like we have like exciting 5 different challenges. If you just maybe I'll just show a quick overview of the challenges. You can just see we have like 5 different challenges. The one is signing up to Clarifai. The second one is calling trying out a model via the playground. And the third challenge is calling any of the model on the available on the community via the API. I think I just that's what, right? That's what I just asked you to check out that previous session. I've just shown a complete how you can complete all these 3 challenges, like from signing up, trying out the playground, accessing the model via the API. It's pretty easy. I don't think it would even take like more than 30 minutes to get you complete these challenges. So that would give you a better sense of like how, like what are the models that are available now, and how you can access them to build your own applications. So that will help you to get started quickly. And the third and fourth challenge is like building an AI agent with Clarify. And the fifth one is like create and upload an MCP server using the Clarify platform, which that's why like we have this session. I will be going in depth on like how to create your own MCP servers and upload and deploy, and also how you can access that MCP server and integrate with your agent and build a blog writing agent, which for this use case, like for this example, I'm just considering that use case, a AI blog writing agent. So we'll just see how you can access that MCP server that you have deployed and then build an agent. So that's what quick maybe a summary of the challenges that we have. Everything is designed to help you get started quickly, to help you get started with GenAI and everything happening around agents and MCP. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat, or we will be available in the Discord as well. So just drop your questions there, and we are happy to help you out. Without a further ado, let's get started with this today's session and what we are going to explore. So I'll just show the app that we're trying to build. So this is the app that we're trying to build, the AI blog writing agent. So yeah, this is pretty straightforward. An agent that helps you to write blogs, right? Obviously, right? If it takes a lot of time to write blog content, so that's why we just thought like, why can't we create an agent to create a to write blog posts? So that's why we just taken this use case, and you can see here like for this use case we're gonna do two key components. First, we're gonna see how you can create an MCP server, right? We'll create an MCP server with three different tools. One with like three different tools that helps you to that helps your agent to write a blog post. Just to give a quick more like a bit more idea on these tools. Like one of the tool will help you to search through the internet, like search through Google and things, and help you get the relevant links for the blog, like for the topic that the user asks. For example, let's say I can just ask like any of the topic, or maybe if you are trying to ask any of the topic, and one of the tool will help search through the internet and get the top 5 relevant blogs. And the second tool that we're going to create within the MCP server, which will help us to scrape the data, like extract the content from those websites, and then help us to get all that data so that we can just use that as a reference to the any of the model, and then the model can use that to write the blog. And the third tool, obviously, right, writing blog is not just using a model to write, using any of the model and writing the blog. We have to make it SEO ready, so that the other tool, like the third tool, will help us to get the top 5 SEO keywords specific to that blog post, and then it will actually get the keywords which are like high performing, like high volume and low competition keywords, so that we could just use that within the blog, so that the blog would perform better in terms of the SEO. So that's what we're going to build in terms of the MCP server. We're going to create that MCP server, we're going to upload it to the Clarifai platform, and we're going to deploy it. And then the other part, we're going to use that MCP server to build an AI agent. We're going to use Crew AI here, which is an agent orchestration platform. Like you can just use any of the framework that you prefer. There are like ton of other frameworks as well, like Google ADK and other frameworks as well. You can just try them out, whatever you just prefer. But here we're going to use Crew AI to build this agent. You can just see here, like we will be building like 3 different agents: the planner agent, writer agent, and editor agent. So this is a multi-agent system, not just a single agent that we will be working on. A planner agent will help us, like it will just use all the tools that we have in the MCP to find the top 5 blog links for that specific topic that the user given. And then the second tool, like it will just use the second tool to extract the content from those topics. And it will also use the third tool to get the right SEO keywords, which are like high performing and like low competition keywords. So that's what the planner agent does. It will help like extract. It will use the MCP server, and it will extract all the content, the SEO keywords, and also the top 5 blog posts, the top 5 links from the any of the web, like any of the search engine. And then it will just format it in a way that the other agent, like the writer agent, could take that up and then write a detailed blog post using that information. And then the editor agent will finally check if there are any issues with in terms of the grammar, or maybe in terms of the SEO, in terms of like if there are any issues technically, right? It will help us to finalize that blog post. So that's what the editor agent does. So that's what, like, it's a multi-agent system. We have 3 different agents. The planner agent will use that MCP server that we create and deploy. It will use that, it will access those tools to put up the framework, like I put up the overview of the blog post, and then the writer and editor agent will take it up and format it into a nice blog post. So that's what the multi-agent system does. And just to give you a quick demo, like how it works, you can see here I've just provided a topic which is like MCP versus A2A. Maybe if you are not aware of what is MCP, or maybe what is A2A, like MCP is like a model context protocol that helps agents to connect with other external data sources or APIs. And A2A, which is an agent-to-agent protocol that Google have recently released that helps multiple agents communicate each other. So I'm just, for example, let's say if I don't know anything about MCP versus A2A, now I'm just providing the topic, and I can just hit generate blog. And you can see here, it will just first connect to the MCP servers. Maybe it takes a bit of time, but you can see here, it just connected to the MCP servers. As I just mentioned, right, these are the 3 tools that we have: multi-engine search, extract web content from links, and the keyword research. So these are the 3 tools, and the agent will connect to those 3 tools, and it will just get the content and write a blog post. So just taking some time, but it should give us the detailed blog post. So let's wait for a bit and let's see the response. Maybe if it takes time, maybe you can even refer to this as well, that the previous generation that I did, just given that detailed blog post. But maybe you can even check the logs as well. Like I think within the terminal, when you're just trying to run the agent, it will just all the tool executions, the thinking process of the agent, like everything, it would be displayed there, and you can just access it from there, like what and how the agent is generating the blog post. You can explore it from there. But let's come back to this a bit later. But before that, maybe let me just check if you have any questions. I think someone is asking a hackathon plan, but I think if you just post that in the Discord channel, maybe the team would help you out in terms of the giving you access to that hackathon plan. Just share your email so that we will upgrade you to the hackathon plan. But yeah, maybe I think this demo would be available. It would be recorded, so you can even access this later this session, and you can just follow along. Maybe after the session, I can upgrade you to the hackathon plan, and you can just access it. So yeah, I think that's the only question. But yeah, let's.
We have one more question. So A2A is Google's MCP?
No, it's not specifically MCP. It's an just to give a bit more context, like MCP is a protocol that developed by Anthropic, which gives the agents the access to the external APIs or data sources or anything. For example, let's say Google Drive, or let's say Slack, or let's say any other data sources that you have, like Supabase, or like even Clarifai, right? If you want to let the agent communicate with these APIs, like instead of writing is like writing all the things by yourself, like if you connect this MCP servers to your client, either it could be Cloud Desktop, or maybe like Cursor, Windsurf, anything, right? Now the agent could access these tools, it could access these APIs and external data sources, and it could able to use that info to complete the task that you have given. It's a simple way of just giving external access like to the agent. But A2A is more of an agent-to-agent communication. For example, let's say you have multiple agents that you have. Maybe, for example, let's say you have a blog writing agent and you have an SEO agent that you have. And now if you just want these 2 agents to communicate together to come up with a detailed blog post, I think that's where agent-to-agent, like the protocol, will help you out. I think we have a detailed blog post on this as well. If you just go to Clarifai and blog section, and we have a detailed blog comparison with MCP and A2A. But yeah, that might clear you a bit. But to get a detailed info on how it works in terms of the communications, in terms of the difference between this, and how you can build with like build projects with this, I think we have a detailed blog post on the Clarifai blog section. Maybe I will just show you that as well. Clarifai blog, you can just go to the blog, and we have the MCP versus A2A blog, so you can just explore more about that from here. So yeah, I think
Awesome.
that might clear you. But I think we have Arjun from our team as well in the chat. Maybe he can help you out in terms of if you have any questions as well while I continue the demo. So yeah, let's continue. But yeah, let's just feel free to share your comments in the chat.
We have one last question from Tot_Ra. Can MCP access local files?
Yeah, absolutely. You can even access the local files that you have, like the databases that you have, or maybe the files that you have that you run locally. You can access that. Or if you want to access, like if you want to connect maybe the external APIs as well, you can just do that. So both of them could be done. And yeah, we have just explained that in detail in the blog. So just feel free to check that out.
Awesome.
Cool. So yeah, that's the thing that we will be building out. Maybe let's go jump into the code. Let's jump into the code and see how actually we are just trying to build it out. Maybe that might give you a better sense of how easy, like maybe how you can just build your own agent. So I'm just giving you this as an example, like the AI blog writing agent, but you can just take this as a reference even for this hack, like the GenAI hack week. Just use this as a reference, and you can just, I think there's a ton of possibilities in terms of the agent, like the use cases, whether it could be healthcare, like maybe finance, or any domain that you just take. You can just explore and build your own agents. So yeah, you can just use this as a reference. Let's jump into the code. I think I'm just using my IDE here, which is cursor. So just to give you a quick glimpse on like what we have here, you can just see we have like I have this MCP powered AI block generator. I'm in that folder, and if you just notice here, we have a folder called search MCP, and we have like app.py and requirements.txt that we have. So this app.py is the Streamlit application that I've shown you previously. We have the complete code for that. The Streamlit application. We'll just take a look at that later. But the requirements.txt, which is like the required libraries that helps you to run the Streamlit file, like the Streamlit app. So that's the app.py and requirement.txt, which we'll take a look at later. But if you just take, we have another subdirectory within MCP powered AI block generator directory, like the search MCP. This is where we have defined the MCP server. So if you just look at the folder structure, within this search MCP, we have a folder like the subdirectory named one, and within that we have like the model.py file. So you can just take a look at that, and then we have this config.ml file, and also we have like requirements.txt file. So yeah, this is the basic things that it required, like the folder structure or the directory structure that required if you need to build like an MCP server and upload it to the platform. You can just follow the same format, right? Like I'm just showing you how you can upload your MCP server, but you can just use the same format to upload your custom models as well, right? For example, let's say if you want to upload not MCP server, but maybe you have your own custom model that you have trained, either it could be maybe some image classifier, or maybe some kind of fine-tuned model, any of the model, right? You can just follow the same directory structure, and you need to adjust the code based on your use case, like based on the model that you're trying to upload. So yeah, that's a folder structure, like the model.py file, config.ml file, and requirements.txt file. We have this client.py file as well, which we'll just use to interact with the MCP server once we have deployed that to the platform. But yeah, it's optional. Like if you would like to test it out before you're just trying to use the MCP server, you can just use that client as well. So that's the folder structure. Now let's go through the files one by one and see how we have created the MCP server. Let's go to the model.py file, which is the main file where we have defined the custom, like the MCP server. If you just notice, we are importing the SERP API. This is where, like as I just mentioned, right, we will be using this custom tool to search through the internet. For example, let's say Google or other search engines, and also we will be getting the right SEO keywords, and we will be using the SERP API. You can get the access or maybe the API key from the platform. And then if you just notice, we are just using the MCP model class from Clarifai.runners. This will help us to package the MCP server that we have defined into the Clarifai compatible version, so that the platform knows how to interact with this MCP server, how to extract these tools and all the things. So at the end, we will be wrapping this MCP model class, and then defining our the server. Let's wait for that. But yeah, that's what this MCP model class does. But other than that, you can just see we are importing the fast MCP. This is the library that we are using to create the MCP server. Obviously, there are other like lot of other libraries as well in order to create the MCP servers. But fast MCP is the most popular one, and pretty easy and intuitive to get started with to create MCP servers. So we are just going with that. I just imported fast MCP. And also, if you just notice, we have imported article from newspaper. This is a newspaper is a Python library that helps to extract content from the links, like from the, as I just mentioned, right? Like we have a tool. One of the tool will extract the links, like top 5 links from the Google search, and the other tool will extract the content from those links, right? So we are using this Python library, that newspaper, to extract those content. So yeah, we will just take a look at that as well when we're trying to go through each tool. But yeah, those are the libraries that we're importing. And here we are initializing the fast MCP. You can just see, I just named it as blog writing search MCP. And then here you can just initialize, like you can just define your API key, like the SERP API key, which we are just trying to use to get the links and also to get the right SEO keywords. And if you just notice here, we are using the decorator, like server.tool, which helps to register this Python function, like the function that we are defining for this each tool, like each function. It will register as a tool, like this decorator will register this function as a tool. And you can just see, I'm just defining the title, like the multi-engine search, and also description for this search, for this tool. This tool will get the top 5 blog or articles based on the search query. So that's what this tool does. And it's really key that you have to initialize, like you have to register it with this decorator, like the thing that you have initialized, the MCP server, and then with a tool called like server.tool to register as a tool. And obviously this is pretty simple, like the Python function that will take the user query and also the engine, like where we need to search, whether it is Google or Safari or like any other search engine, and also the location, whether you need to search within a specific state like United States or India or any other location, and then the device as well, which device that you need to search for, like desktop, mobile, etc. And it just takes this query, and you can see the parameters that I'm passing, and it will just search through the Google with the import that we had from SERP API, and it will return the top 5 links, right? For example, let's say in the previous example, we have given like MCP versus A2A, so it will just search through that. It will just search through the Google, since we have given Google here. So it will just search through that and then give us the top 5 links that come up. So yeah, that's what this tool does. And similarly, we have another tool that we have defined here, which is extract web content from links. So this will extract the content from those 5 links that we have that we're going to get. And this is where we are just trying to use this newspaper library. If you just go to the code, it's pretty straightforward. We're just using the library, passing the URL, and then passing the content. And if you just notice, I'm just getting only the first 1,000 characters from the blog, from that article. So it's up to you. Like I'm just extracting the first 1,000 characters. But if you would like to extract the complete post, like you can just do that as well. So yeah, that's what this tool does. And the final tool, you can just see I've just named it as keyword research, and also the description that I've given to the tool. So it will just take the user query, like the topic that it want to generate the blog on, and it will just use that SERP API. It will just find like what are the keywords that are like relevant to this particular topic, which are like low competition and high volume. For example, let's say there might be some kind of keywords for let's say the blog that we have generated, MCP versus A2A. So it will just give us the top 5 keywords, so that we could include that within the blog, which will make it more SEO friendly. So that's what this tool does. It's pretty straightforward. We are using the Google search, like the same SERP API to do that. But I'm just giving you this as a context. Like you can just follow the same format if you need to create any kind of tool for your use case, not just what I have created. Like since my use case is like generating a blog, I've just created these 3 tools. But it's up to you. Like based on your use case, if you want to interact with maybe Clarifai API, I think we have our own MCP server, you can just access it. Or if you want to use the Clarifai API, you want to create your own MCP server, maybe create a custom tool for that. It's up to you, right? Based on your use case, you can just follow the same format, initialize the MC, like fast MCP, like create a tool, and then define your all the functionality within that tool. So yeah, that's how simple it is. Like all it takes to import and initialize and then set up your tools. And finally, if you just notice here, this is where we are just trying to register this, like, just using the MCP model class. And just you can see I'm just creating the my model class and then providing the base class, like the MCP model class that we have imported, so that when we're trying to upload to the platform, right, it knows like what, like where to call, like which servers to call, which tools to call, and everything. So that's why we are just trying to use and wrapping up it with the MCP model class. This is really key. It's just a couple of lines to uh, wrap this up. So yeah, that's the MCP server. That's the model.py file, the complete logic behind like how you can create an MCP server. As I just mentioned, it's up to you how you, like what tools or maybe what MCP servers that you need to create. You can just create and you can just follow the same format. We have a documentation as well if you prefer that, like how to create step by step an MCP server. So yeah, we have seen how you can define the MCP server within that model.py file. It's really key. Like you need to follow the same structure, model like subdirectory one, and within that it should be like model.py file. And also there are other key, a couple of important files, so that you need to be defining before uploading it to the platform. You just notice this config.ml file. This is where we just set up all the configurations that required for this MCP server. You can see I just defined the Python version, the inference compute info, CPU limit, CPU memory, and number of accelerators. Since this is, as you just noticed, right, this model.py file is just contain like few Python functions. It doesn't require high-end GPUs to create, or maybe high-end GPUs to run. So all we need is a few CPU memory. So that's what we just given the CPU limit and CPU memory. But as I just mentioned, right, like if you would like to upload any of your models, for example, let's say any of your custom trained models, or let's say open source models, or maybe if you need to upload a model from Hugging Face, you can just specify the accelerators as well, the GPU, and also the accelerator memory and the accelerator type as well, like which accelerator that you need to use, like NVIDIA. And even within NVIDIA, there are like a lot of accelerators, like A10G, like L40S, lot of configurations you can explore based on your use case, and you can just define the accelerators type and the number of accelerators, etc., based on your use case. But since this is just a Python function, like a few Python functions, like in our model.py file, we don't need the GPU access. So that's why we're just going with CPU limit and CPU memory. And then the model here, if you just notice, we are just defining our app ID, the model ID and model type ID and user ID. So maybe if you have checked my previous session that we had on Friday, you might have a better idea on what is app ID, what is model ID and things. But if you're not sure, maybe I'll just show you a quick just a quick just a minute, I'm just opening my
Hi, Sumant. While you're doing that, do you mind just zooming in a little bit? I think some folks at home are having a little trouble reading the text.
Sure, definitely. So yeah, I just want to show like within the config.ml file, I've just defined the app ID, model ID, and things. So if you just take a look, maybe I'll just give a quick look at what that means. So if you just go to the projects, so projects are the basic building blocks for creating any kind of AI application within the Clarifai platform. So it just contains like everything. Like you can just upload your data, you can just label your data, or let's say if you would like to train your own models, if you would like to create your own workflows, if you would like to like let's say you just want to maybe build your own modules, or if you want to create a dedicated compute or deploy your models, right? Like everything is within the projects. So let me just show you a quick example of the MCP examples project that I have here. So if you just notice here, this is the project. If you just see the input section where you can upload and label the data, the dataset section, the model section, the workflow section, the modules and labeling tasks, you can just take maybe we have like a lot of tutorials and documentation. You can just take a look at that. You can just go through that as well later, like how you can just leverage all this for your use cases and how you can build with this. But for now, I just want to show you like this is an app and this is an app ID. Like for this specific app, we have an app ID. And if you just check this model section, right, you can upload multiple models, and you can see this is the model that this is the MCP server that I have uploaded previously, and this specific model have a model ID. So that's what I was just trying to specify. You can just take a look at here, the blog writing search MCP. This is the model ID for this model, and obviously, right, like this is my user ID, like Sumant is my user ID. So once you create your account and once you create your app, and obviously you will be having all these details, and you can just provide that within the config.yaml file. So yeah, that's what we have here. Like that's what I just defined here. The app ID, the MCP examples, that's the app ID that I just shown you. The blog writing search MCP, that's my ID that I just want to give to my model. It's up to you. If, like, for example, let's say if you want to create your own, like maybe another name, you can just provide that here. And the model type ID, I'm just providing it as an MCP. It's really key. Like you need to provide like a model type ID here. If you're trying to upload your text-to-text models like LLMs, etc., you can just provide the model type ID as text. But for example, let's say if you would like to text to text, if you'd like to upload like an image models or maybe like other models, right? We have different model types. You have to specify that model based on what you are trying to upload. Since we are trying to upload an MCP server, we need to specify that model type ID. And I'm just specifying my user ID as well. So this is the config.yaml file. It's pretty simple, straightforward. We're just defining all the config that require the model to upload. And then if you just look at the requirements.txt, I just have this all the requirements that required us to run this specific server, like the MCP server, the Clarifai, fast MCP, the Google search, newspaper, like which is the library, etc. So that's what the complete. That's how you can just define all your config and the model.py and things. Now let's see how you can upload your like for example, let's say once you have created the MCP server, let's see how we can upload this to the Clarifai platform. And maybe before that, let me just check if you have any questions here. Cool. Maybe I'll just zoom it a bit. No worries. Just a minute. Just sharing my screen. Could you see my screen? Rosando, maybe you could add I think it just disconnected.
Yeah, sure. Could you just switch over to the presentation screen?
Sure.
And hello to the folks that are joining in. Appreciate y'all.
Could you just share that?
There you go.
Awesome. Thanks. And yeah, I think we have seen how you can create your own MCP server. Maybe let's take a look at how you can upload it now to the platform. It's pretty simple and pretty straightforward, right? It just all you need to do is just a single command to upload your MCP server to the platform. I think you should be installing the Clarifai Python library. You can just install the latest version. I think I'm just using the 11.4.7 version. So once you install the Clarifai library, like using pip install Clarifai, and once you do that, and once you set up the Clarifai personal access token as an environment variable, I think you can access it from the security, right? You can just go to the Clarifai security on the top right section. You can get your personal access token. It helps you to set up all the authentication that you need to upload your model. And once you set up, install the library and set up your personal access token as an environment variable, right? Now all it takes is a single command to upload the MCP server to the platform. Like you can just use, maybe let me zoom in a bit. Clarifai model upload. Yeah, you can see just ask like to continue. And since I already have you can see I have the config.yaml file. I already have the model, this MCP server with the same name. Maybe I can just give the MCP server like search MCP _1, like a different name for the model ID. Maybe let's try it again. Clarifai model upload. and I'm just clicking continue. So it's just trying to build the model. It won't take much time. It just, I think, just few seconds to upload your model, since it's pretty simple and straightforward. Cool. I think maybe let's check the uh, the the examples, like MCP examples app. I'll just go to the model section. I think maybe I haven't saved my file here, like config.ml file. Let me just save that. Let me just upload it again. Continue. It's building the model. Cool. It just uploaded. Let me just refresh it here. You can see, yeah, you can see the model has been, like the MCP server has been uploaded to this specific app. I think this is what we specified, like blog writing search MCP underscore one. This is the MCP server, right? Now, once you upload the server, like it's really key that you need to deploy it to your dedicated compute, right? You can just upload. You can just since it doesn't require like high-end GPUs, as we have seen, just a few CPU compute. You can just use the basic compute, like basic compute available on the platform, like the like when you're trying to create your compute, and you can just deploy the model to that. I think I've just even covered that in the previous session as well, like how you can create your own compute and deploy your models. But for this session, I'm just go quick walk through like how you can just do that as well. So I just go to this compute section, and within this compute section, you can see I already have this MCP cluster. And maybe if you need to create your own cluster, you can just click on create a new cluster. You can just provide the cluster ID. Maybe let me just give you MLH test, and then you can just provide the cluster description, the dedicated. You can just choose whether you want to go with the Clarifai dedicated compute. I think this is the only option that we have, and in the future we will be letting you to connect your own compute as well. And then here you can just select your model provider, AWS or GCP, Azure, Vultr, Oracle. And obviously, as I'm just selecting with going with AWS, and then selecting the region, US East, and then the personal access token in order to communicate with your resources. And yeah, once you select your cluster, and you can just click continue. Here you can just specify your node pool. Node pool is, like I said, a group of nodes with same configuration, and you can just provide your node pool ID. Maybe I can just go with test MLH. You can just specify the node auto scaling rate. This is really key. Like for example, let's say if you don't want your model to users to wait for like users want to face like this cold start issues, like maybe it will take some time, right? Like for example, let's say if you are deployed your model, if you don't specify the node auto scaling range as like minimum as 1, it will take some time to spin up the resources. So there would be some cold start issues for the user. So if you don't want that, you can just specify the minimum auto scaling range as 1, or maybe based on your use case, you can just specify more than that as well, and the maximum compute nodes based on your use case, right? I'm just going with 1 so that I don't want any cold start. But remember that once you specify 1, right, like there would be always 1 node up and ready, so that you won't be having any cold start issues. But there would be maybe you need to like there would be some cost issues, like you need to pay for that, like so it's a thing between like the cost and the performance. So it's up to you. It's a whether you just want to go with the, like if you want to save cost, you can just specify it's at 0. But if your use case needs like an always up and like a node, you can just specify it as 1. So I'm just going with 1 and maybe 3 here. And here you can just see there are a lot of instance types, GPU, CPU, and others. But obviously, right, since we don't require high-end GPUs for this MCP server, I'm just going with the basic one that we have here, like the T3A medium. So once I have this, I can just create a cluster. And once you create the cluster, it's pretty straightforward and easy to deploy your model. You can just click on the deploy model here, and then you can specify the deployment ID. You can just provide any ID. Maybe I can just go with MLH test. Deployment description, you can just provide. You can just select the models. So this is what we have uploaded now, the blog writing search MCP underscore 1. This is the model that we have uploaded. You can just select that, and also the version, and then the cluster ID. This is the cluster that we have created now, MLH test, and the node pool test MLH. And then you can just deploy the model, right? It's pretty simple and straightforward. Create your cluster, create your node pool, and deploy the model. So we have seen how to create your own MCP server, how you can upload it to the platform, and then how you can deploy it by creating a dedicated compute. So yeah, that's how easy and straightforward it is. Now once you deploy the model, right, deploy the MCP server, you need to access this. And obviously if you just go to my projects and the MCP examples, and maybe if I can go to my model, you can just see the deployment status. It's in use. So we have deployed it and it's been used. It just takes a bit of time to deploy the model to the cluster. So wait for that before you even trying to access it. But maybe let me just trying to open this, the model deployment, like the blog writing search MCP one, and you can just call this run with API, and you can get the access, like the API, the URL that you need to communicate with this MCP server. So this is the URL, the api.clarifai.com, plus this is the API endpoint and the blog writing search MCP one, the model ID. So you can access it from here. You can just copy the code and you can interact with it. But let's see. I think we have the client.py right within our local cursor IDE. We'll just test that out. We'll just see whether we're trying to access the model or not. So it just takes some time to deploy. So since for the time being, I'm just going with another the model that I have already deployed previously. If you just notice the model that I already have, right, like the blog writing search MCP. So I'm gonna go with that since it has already been deployed and it won't take much time to access that. So just go with that. So yeah, let's check that. I think I'm just going to client.py. You can see it's pretty simple, right? In order to call your server that you have deployed it to the platform, you can just import fastMCP. Like similarly, you can import the client from fastMCP, and you can import this streamable HTTP transport. Since we are trying to access or maybe communicate via the URL, right? Like via the HTTP, we just need to import that. But if you're trying to import, like as I just mentioned, right, you can even call this. You can even call or maybe interact within your local. Like you don't even deploy this. I think you can even just call this locally as well. So for that, you can just import the standard STD, like standard input type input output method that the fastMCP provide. You can just import that and you can just provide the model.py file and you can interact with it. But yeah, for the time being, I'm not going in there. But since we have deployed it, let's see how we can access and test this out. And you can see I'm just setting my personal access token here. And then here I'm just specifying the URL. This is the URL, like the deployed URL that we have. And then I'm just initializing the HTTP transport by providing the URL and the authentication, personal access token, the headers and things. And now you can just see I'm just defining like the asynchronous method, and I'm opening the connection with this the MCP server via the async with statement, so that it will open and make sure it will close the connection once we just done interacting with it. So that's why we just gone with like the with client, like we're just opening with. So yeah, you can see I'm just defining the asynchronous method. I'm just importing that. I'm just opening the connection, and here you can just I'm just calling the calls, like the list of tool calls. So you can just see like I'm just calling like await, and with the client I'm just calling like list of tools. So it will access all the list of tools. I think we have 3 different tools, right? So it should print all the 3 different tools. You can see I'm just printing them here by accessing these tools. And then you can see I'm just testing out the other tools as well. Like since once we interact with it, we can able to access those tools. And this is what we are just trying to test out by providing some dummy data, like some query, the engine and location, right? We're just providing some dummy data, and we're just trying to just make sure like whether everything is working fine or not. So that's what we're just defining in the client.py. And you can just call like maybe some I can just call Python client.py. So it should return, but maybe if it's gone, maybe if it's in a cold state, like if it maybe I just call it I haven't called it for the last 1 hour. So you can see this is the issue, right? If you haven't specified the minimum number of nodes as 1, this is the issue. Like maybe it will take some time to spin up. So I'm just getting this specific error. So yeah, that's right. If you don't want users to face that, you can just set the minimum nodes as 1, so that you won't have any cold start issues with your models or maybe with your MCP servers. But yeah, I think you have got the point, like how to deploy your MCP server and how you can access that via the MCP client. Now I think we are running out of time, so maybe I think we have another task section as well to cover. So let's take a look at like how you can like how you can create an agent. So yeah, I hope you have any, maybe if you don't have any questions around MCP, maybe if you have, like just drop it in the comments. Just to summarize, we have seen how you can create your like MCP server and deploy it to the platform. We have just defined our model.py file, config.ml, requirements.txt, and we have uploaded it with a single command like model, clarify model upload. And then we have, once we uploaded, right, we have just deployed it to the dedicated compute. So yeah, that's what we just did. And now we have just tested out with the client. Maybe let me call it again. So we have just seen how you can call with the client.py. So yeah, now you can see we can able to get the response from the MCP server. If you just see, this is these are the list of tools. Like since we are just trying to print the list of tools here, like all the 3 tools, and then we're just trying to call each tool, like multi-engine search, extract web content from links, and like we are also getting the SEO keywords, right? You can see it's working, right? That's what, like you can just initialize your client and you can just test out whether everything is working fine or not. Now let's go to the app.py and we see how we can create your Streamlit app. And this is my app.py file, right? Like it's completely different than MCP. We're just trying to define our own agent using Crew AI. You can see, maybe if you are not familiar with Streamlit, you can just use any other front-end framework to create your app. Like maybe I think there are a lot of other Python tools as well, like Gradio, Reflex, and others. So you can just try it out them as well, like if you don't prefer Streamlit. But Streamlit, we are just use Streamlit here. So I'm just importing Streamlit. I'm just importing the required the agent, task, crew, process, and LLM methods from the Crew AI, which helps us to create the agent, tasks, crew, and how we can initialize the LLM as well. And also here, I'm just importing MCP server adapter from Crew AI tools. This will help us to connect the agents to the MCP server. Like it will help us to connect the tools of the MCP server to the agent, right? That's what it does, like the MCP server adapter. So yeah, I think once we have initialized the MCP server, right, like this will, I think the one that we have deployed, the MCP server, we have like 3 different tools. It will connect those 3 different tools to the agent that we are trying to define. So yeah, that's what this MCP server adapter does. And now I'm just like setting up the Clarifai personal access token, and then here I'm initializing like Clarifai LLM from the Clarifai community. I'm just following the OpenAI endpoint. So this is how you can just initialize or maybe call the model via the Crew AI, right? Once you initialize the LLM class, you can just provide the model via the format that we prefer, like the OpenAI API endpoint format. You can see this is the model URL, like it's within the OpenAI. This is the chart completion, the app, and then the models. Within that, I'm just trying to access GPT-4, but you need to add the prefix OpenAI since this is the format that we're trying to access. So just remember that. And I think we have a lot of documentation as well on how you can call this specific model, not just GPT-4. You can even go with like Gemini 2.5, or like let's say Llama 3, or if you just prefer like open source, right, Llama 3 or any other models. But just remember that the model should be supporting tool calls, since we're just trying to call the tools using the model. So these are the models like GPT-4o, even Gemini 2.5 Pro, all these models supports tool call. But if you just want to prefer the just the model that you want, you can just go with that. And the API key, I'm just providing the base URL, the OpenAI. This is the API endpoint that required to interact with the Clarifai models, right? So I'm just initializing the Clarifai LLM, and then here I'm just specifying the user ID, app ID, and the model ID. This is this is what we have seen, like the blog writing search MCP server that we have deployed now. This is my user ID, and this is my app ID, the MCP examples, and the model ID. And then I'm passing the server parameters, the URL, like similar to what we have provided in the client.py file, right? Just the URL and the headers, authentication, the Clarifai personal access token, and the transport, the streamable HTTP. Like this is how we are trying to communicate with the server, right? So we're just providing this as a server parameters. And here within the main, I'm just trying to import the Streamlit app. You can see the title, the markdown, and here I'm just asking like the text input, like where I can get the input from the user, right? Like where the user can enter their blog, the topic that they want to generate blog on, and then the generate button, like button where the user can click and the blog will be generating, right? So this is the button that I have, and once the user clicks on the button, you can see I'm just trying to just like initializing a zip spinner here so that we just know the progress. Like obviously you can just explore like everything around Streamlit. all the spinners and all the how you can initialize the titles and things, markdown, etc. You can explore that more later. But just focus on the logic and how we are just trying to call the tools and MCP server. You can see I'm just initializing and just trying to connect the I think I've just provided the server parameters, right? Like all the my server, the MCP server, the headers and transport. I'm just trying to initialize using the MCP server adapter, as I just mentioned, right? This will help to connect the tools of this MCP server to the agent. So yeah, we're just trying to create a connection with that, and then we're just getting the tools. And then you can see here, I'm just defining the agents. So that's why we have defined here like that's why we have imported like agent, task, crew, and things from crew AI. That helps us to import like initialize the agent and task. Here, first we're just trying to initialize the planner agent. You can see I'm just defining the role. What's the role of this agent? As I just mentioned, this agent will get the it will access to the tools, and it will get the info like the top filings. It will just search, get the content, and then the SEO keywords as well. So that's what this agent does. But we're just trying to define the role, goal, and backstory for this specific agent. And if you just notice here, we are just giving the MCP tools which we have imported, like which we have got from our MCP server here. We're just giving that as an access to this agent, so that the agent can use those tools and call maybe whenever necessary, right? It can call those tools and use that info to write a blog post, right? So that's what, right? You need to specify these tools which we are getting from the MCP server. And then I'm just initializing the Clarifai, like specifying the Clarifai LLM, which we have initialized above, the Clarifai LLM. So yeah, that's what I just defined my planner agent. Similarly, I'm just defining my writer agent, just defining the role, goal, backstory for this agent as well. And similarly, I'm just passing the Clarifai LLM for this specific agent as well that we have initialized, and similarly the editor agent. And for each agent, we have defined our own tasks, right? Obviously, for agent, we need to give a task, like what that agent needs to be accomplished. So that's what we have given here. For each topic that the user given, just use the we are just mentioning the agent to use these tools to get that blog content and to get the details, and then asking it to generate the outline, the title, introduction, 3 to 4 sections, and things, and the conclusion. And you can just see we are just mentioning the expected format as well. So yeah, and similarly we're just defining the task for the writer agent, just given that like what this needs to be done. And similarly for the other agent as well, the editor agent. So those are the 3 agents. We are just defining the agents and tasks. And then if you just just notice, like we are just initializing everything within a crew, so that every agent like runs sequentially, like one by one, so that like the first agent would use the tools and get the info. The second agent could use that info to write a blog post. The third agent could also maybe check if there are any SEO issues or maybe grammatical errors, right? We'll just use these 3 tools. The first agent and the second agent will just write the blog post, and third one will just make sure like everything is make sure like everything there are no issues, right? So that's why we just want to run sequentially, like one by one. So that's why we just mentioned the process as sequential. And then we just initialize the crew. So yeah, we're just kicking off the crew, and then once we get the result from the agent, we're just displaying it with the markdown. So yeah, that's what we have defined here. Like the agent, if you just see, we have initialized the Clarifai LLM. We have just provided the server parameters for the MCP server that we have deployed. And then we are just using this MCP server adapter so that we can call this we can just give the access to the agent, like all these tools that we have in the MCP. We can give that as an access to this agent. And then we're just defining the agents with the role, goal, backstory, the tools, and the LLM, and also the writer agent, editor agent, and also tasks for those agents. And then finally, we are kicking off this agent by specifying the agents and tasks and the process. So that's how, and obviously, right, finally, we are just displaying the output within the markdown format. So yeah, that's the agent. Maybe just to summarize what we have did the complete in this workshop. First, we have seen how you can create your own MCP server. We have seen how you can just format the project structure, the model, how you can define your model.py file, config.ml file, requirements.txt, and then how you can just upload it to the platform using a single command like Clarifai model upload. And once you upload, obviously we have seen how you can deploy the model to the your dedicated compute, how you can create your own cluster, node pool, and how you can deploy your MCP server to that. And then we have seen how you can create an agent using that MCP server, like this MCP server, like using Crew AI, how you can define the agents, tasks, roles, and how you can kick off and display the results using Streamlit. So that's the complete overview. Maybe that's what I just plan to cover for this workshop. But maybe you might have a better idea now on how you can create your own MCP servers using Clarifai, and also how you can create agents using the any framework that you have, and how you can uh, use the LLMs from the Clarifai platform, right? Maybe you can just follow the same process if you just don't want to use Crew AI, right? If you just want to use Google ADK, it's the same process. You can just use the same. You can just specify the model that you want using the same OpenAI API endpoint, like the same. You can just provide your base URL, the API key, and the model that you want, and then you can just pass it to any agentic framework, right? You can just create agents. So that's how you can just create your agents, and how you can create MCP servers and deploy it. So yeah, that's for this session. I think the code also is available. I can just share the code with you. So I think I have the code uploaded. I think these are the two agents. I think the previous one I've just created a AI blog writing agent, which doesn't use MCP server to get the tools. I just defined a single tool call, but you can even access that example as well here. But this is the example, like the MCP powered AI blog writing agent. We have the entire code, like how the MCP server, like how you can upload and things like whatever I've shown you. Everything is available here, so you can just check that out. And we have the detailed description as well here, like how you can install the requirements, set up the and like how you can access the personal access token and all the things here, and then you can just go through that and implementing it. So yeah, that's what I just thought to cover, but I'm happy to take if you have any questions.
How's it going, Samanth? It looks like we covered most of the questions during the time that you had there. There were some folks that were asking how to get access to the Discord server. Please head over to discord.mlh.io and get started with the onboarding channel to get access to all of the Global Hack Week channels, including the Ask Clarify channel. Folks are asking about the challenges. Head over to ghw.mlh.io/challenges. You'll see all of the Clarify challenges there. Once again, if you complete 4 out of the 5 challenges we have available, you will be considered for a $250 Clarify credit after the event is done. You could also hit us up on Discord if you are getting rate limited, trying to go through any of the challenges to get added to the very extensive hackathon plan that Clarify offers. And once again, there will be folks from the Clarify team as well as the MLH team that are there to provide support to you throughout the event. This is day 3. Day 4 is officially kicking off right after this. Right after this workshop, actually, we have Global Hack Week daily updates coming up. So please keep it locked into the Twitch channel that we have up. So it's twitch.tv/MLH. If you're joining from YouTube, stay on the same MLH channel and just like click on the live streams that we have there. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a lot of folks were like fairly interested in agentic AI. Maybe it was the first time for them. Thanks for this deep dive here, Sumant. A lot of the
Cool.
stuff that we covered today, by the way, folks at home, if you do watch the recording, you will be able to use this as the primary resource you need to complete the challenges that we mentioned earlier. So please definitely do that. And it looks like we have some comments coming in.
Cool. And obviously, right, I will be available in via the Discord. If you need to access to the hacker, if you need to get access to the hackathon plan, I'm happy to provide to that. Like right after that, just DM me or just provide just just have a message on the Clarify channel, Ask Clarify channel, and I'm happy to provide the access to the hackathon plan. And also, if you are like as I just mentioned, right, like there are a lot of exciting challenges, like all the 5 challenges that I've shown you. It helps you to get started with like agents and MCP, and I hope this workshop also help you out. So I'm really looking forward to all the challenges and the projects that you're going to submit. But yeah, so just as Rosanda have mentioned, we have a lot of exciting prizes as well. Like we're just giving you if you complete at least 4 challenges out of 5. So yeah.
Amazing. And thanks for the folks that are commenting here. Daniel Luna says, thanks for teaching us, Sumant. Kushal also says that this was awesome. And ASAP here, thank you, Sumant, for teaching us. We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for joining. And once again, keep it locked for the next workshop. We'll be signing off for now. We'll see you soon, all right?